G'day, it's the middle of winter, so I'm doing another quarterly update. So we've put a automatic gate opener here, so I reused an old roll-up door motor. Mainly this is so that the gate is always kept closed, because now we have some goats. It's got a remote, so when you press the button it closes. It's got a button, so when you press it, it closes, and that's really good for going in and out in the ute. So basically every time we go out we leave it closed. Now in the greenhouse we're growing a lot of stuff for the winter. I decided this year to grow inside instead of outside. So we've got seedlings starting, but we've also got sweet potato, Okinawa spinach, salad greens, lemongrass is still there, comfrey's come back up, other winter greens, some brassicas in there, some volunteer pumpkins that came up, some kind of squash that came up. We'll see what happens with them. There's tomatoes along the back. There's some Madeira vine. So that was looking really unhappy, but when we redid these beds and added some biochar, compost, rock dust, more mulch, it just went to this deep green shiny leaves, so it's much happier, much healthier. I potted up some seedlings and baby trees the other day. So there's some citrus trees that are put into bigger pots, some asparagus, American pawpaw that I've grown from seed, a loquat from seed, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We store some of the other things we're trying to grow papaya and frangipani, but those got frosted, so I didn't move them from the shade house to here on time. I've got one bamboo cutting that survived from when I did a whole lot of cuttings last year, so hopefully in the springtime after the frost we'll plant that out and we'll have one more bamboo. We had some really nice rains in the last 3 weeks or so, probably almost 100 mils in 3 weeks, 4 weeks or something. So most of the tanks and the ponds are full. Just want to show you the front veranda we've closed, and it's almost finished, so that's got to get painted, and it's got basically 2 windows on either side and a door on either side so you can go in and out. So now in winter, you know, most of the yacon and things like that have died off, but you can see that there's a store of food under here, so I'll pull one out. And that's, I think, really good size for yacon. It's a smaller tuber, but I don't know if there's any more in there. No, yep, yes there is. Look at that, oh wow. The size of that, the size of a sweet potato. So we eat these throughout the winter. We usually just put them in salads. And I pretty much think that, there's another one, this is an indicator of soil here improving, because we've put a lot of organic material in here. Unfortunately this horrible grass has come through, but basically we've been putting a lot of organic material here since we first came, and I think now that it's finally decomposed to a point where plants can actually access everything that's in it. So we did a lot of fencing in the last 3 months, mainly for these goats who are making themselves heard. Goat! Ready! So that's a mum and a little baby, and this is an old boy. The baby's full of energy. Hello, Chook. The chickens are up in the food forest again. It had grown lots of weeds and grasses, and now they've taken care of that and stripping it back. So we're basically extending the food forest along here now. This fence we've used very small gauge wire, chicken wire, so we will be able to put baby ducklings in here, and we might even be able to put some guinea pigs free ranging in here. I think they might not be able to get out, but basically we're laying wood on contour with other chop and drop wood. When we had the goats in their pen for the first 3 weeks, we had to feed them all their food, so this is all the leftover branches and that. I really like the willow and the bamboo and some of the other prunings, so we just brought that in here and we put it next to the bigger wood, and then that will get covered over with other mulch as we get more mulch. And we'll plant more legumes. There's a few already here, and there's a few fruit trees, but we've got to plant a few more. This is where I've planted the avocados, because it's sort of up the bottom of the forest, so it's less frost here. Hello, goats. Frotty. Unfortunately, this mother goat's very vocal. Aren't you, girl? Hello, boy. And you're a nice quiet goat. He's a real old boy, but she's a bit needy. So there's a goat shelter for them that catches its own water, and that is then water to give to the goats. And the idea is this fence goes up to the top, and basically they've got all this area up here. The fence ends up about there somewhere and it goes across that way. So over down here is going to be a second paddock for them. You can see that's their gate, there's where our boundary is. So there's going to be a second paddock for the goats. This gate will open to that pole, and that there will be a fence from there to that fence around the ducks. So there'll be two big paddocks, and then we'll look at tethering them or using electric net or something else so that we can go down the driveway with them and they can eat all the stuff along the driveway and keep that clear. They seem pretty happy up here. They forage all over, and it's still quite a lot of food. So yeah, they'll be foraging, keeping the undergrowth down but also fertilizing it. So long term we get good trees, firewood and so on. Frosty's growing bigger and bigger every week. It's probably about 6 weeks old now. Hey boy! Oh, you poor goat. Hey boy. You tell them who's boss, huh? You tell them who's boss. Alright, bye goats. I like to always show you all the animals, so there's a couple of chickens in this little house here because they were getting bullied by the others. And yeah, eventually they just kill each other, so we separate them, and they seem happy enough here. They're still laying eggs and that. We just have to bring them some greens. And this duck went behind the car with a clutch of eggs. Unfortunately only one baby came out, so she didn't sit on them too well. But there's a duckling. We didn't really want more ducklings at the moment, but anyhow, we got one. These are all the baby ducklings from, I don't know, about 6 months ago. They've all grown up now, so they're going to have to go in the freezer pretty soon. I don't know if I showed you, but here in the goat pen we had to add an extra shelter for the goats. We bring the goats back in each night. Basically keeps them tame. They've got something really warm. We get to collect their manure and we can milk them in the morning. This mother unfortunately isn't very good for milking, so we're going to have to get some others. Let's see if I can show you inside there. There's basically a gate in the middle to separate goats, so if the male is causing a problem, we normally separate him out here in the morning and the evening so that she can eat her food up on the milking bench. So there's a big old box in there, and there's 2 milking stands or restraints on either end, and then they can either sleep in there or they can sleep inside there at night. So it's protected, it catches its own rain, water, and we can manage them. So while we don't like burning, we decided finally to actually burn this massive big pile of wood, all the sort of thinnings that we had done over time, and then we had some water on hand, so we put the fire out so that we'd get some charcoal. That charcoal is gonna get spread and mixed with other soil all around this area so that we can do some other plantings here. We're going to try and grow some grains of our own. So the pigs have been down here again. You can see the digging they've been doing. Pigs! Pig, 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 pig! Hello, pig! Come on, come be in the video. Hello, pig! Come on! Pig, 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 pigs! Good boy, good girl! Hello, you pigs! Come and say hello. Hello, pigs! So they've been in here. Very soon they're going to go down the driveway again into a big area under the trees there, because we're going to get some earthworks done. So behind these 3 trees we're going to try and dig out a long, shallow pond. The soil from that is going to come up and get mixed with this charcoal and then spread out over here, and we're going to basically re-landscape it how we want it, basically on contour, so that we have sort of long beds or terraces. We're not too sure how it will turn out, we'll see. Yeah, and then a big pond down here that we might do with ducks, or we might just do aquaculture. Mum is quite pregnant. Still got another couple of months to go. She's starting to show more now. Hey, you pigs. Hello, pig. Hello, pig. Hello, pig. You talking, pigs? What do you want to say? Here you go, pigs. Oh, give me a rub. Come here, pig. Hello, pig. Hello, pig. Hello, pig. Hello, pig. Oh, pig. Okay, bye, pigs.